Okay, I'm going to start this again. The psukim were a little bit confusing here. So it is the 21st day of Tammuz, and we're in the 3 weeks, and hopefully no more tragedies will happen to any of the Jewish people in the world. Bez Hashem. So it says in the pasuk in Pinchas. We read it many times a year because every holiday there's the korbanos sibor for the Yom Tovim. So it says, B'yam hasheni parim b'nei vakar shnei masar. Elim shnayim, kevasim b'nei shana arba asar tamimim. Usiri izim lechal achatus mevad oilas atamid ominchasam b'nechasah b'niskehem. So on the second day, 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs within their first year, unblemished. 1 male of the goats for a sin offering, and aside from the continual burnt offering, its meal offerings and their libations. So what is this coming to tell us? Parshat Pinchas lists the korbanos that were to be brought on the Yomim Tovim, right? That's what I said. The Gemara in Tainus and the second base points out that regarding the libations brought on the second day of Sukkot, the pasuk uses the word v'niskehem. Okay, with a mem at the end, unlike the other psukim regarding the libations of Sukkot, which uses the word v'niska, and it's libation without the letter mem. A few psukim later, we find another slight departure from the words in the psukim, where the Torah uses the word unisacheha, and its libations, with an extra yud before the ending letter hey. Okay, finally, regarding the korbanos on the 7th day, the pasuk also adds an extra mem at the end of the word kimishpatam, as opposed to the other psukim in this parsha, which you might have to look at it inside to get this, which say kamishpat without the mem. So it's good to look it up. It's very interesting. Now, together, these extra letters, form mem, yud, and mem, which spells mayim. Surprise. From here we learn we find a hint to the nisach hamayim, the water libations that takes place on Sukkot, from the Torah. Now, on these days, instead of pouring wine with their korbanos, they poured water. There are those who explain that the Torah's hint about mitzvah of nisach hamayim was specifically learned from the psukim that are written from the 2nd and the 6th and the 7th days, because they hint to the word buz. Vez, vav, zayin. It's the 2nd day, and the vav is the 6th day, and the zayin is the 7th day. Now, because they hint to the word buz, it says there's scorn. Now, the numerical value of these 3 letters in the word represents the 2nd, 6th, and 7th days. Okay? Now, why that? The Gemara tells us that the 70 cows that are mentioned in our Parsha that were offered through the days of Sukkot are brought for the 70 nations of the world. It's a Gemara in Sukkah in 555b. On Sukkot, the non-Jews take pride in the many offerings that the Jews brought on their behalf. Well, because of all this, the Torah tells Klal Yisrael that they should do water libations on the altar during Sukkot rather than the usual wine libations. This hints to the nations that they shouldn't become overly excited about the offerings that are being brought for them, since in the end, the nations that oppress us will die, and their blood will spill like water on the ground. The Torah hints at this idea by changing the nusach of the korbanos on the 2nd, 6th, and 7th days, which form the word buz, which is scorn. With this, we hint to the nations that are just as the ocean takes pride in its powerful waves that are eventually halted by the sand, the seashore, which Hashem placed before the sea as a boundary. So too, even though we are attacked by the treacherous waters of the nations, at the end of time, the pasuk in Zera Shimshon, they will despise them. Okay, the oppressing nations will lose and be ashamed in the extreme. May everybody have a wonderful Shabbos and Parshat Pinchas. Bez Hashem, and it's Shabbos Mevorchim also. Okay, Kol Tov Zaygevetch.